Hi everybody and welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. Today I've got another Forza GT series event. We're in the Mercedes-AMG and yeah, I get caught with the wall there trying to let everybody pass. And we go into turn one and there's a huge kerfuffle, massive crash, 5-car pile-up maybe? And a little nudge there from the Aston Martin and we are away. In 17th, snuck into 16th. And the guy in the Lamborghini, I think he's got stability management on, which caused him to spin out and apply the brakes, because that's what stability management does. So a guy runs deep there, and I was thinking about trying to look for an inside overtake into this tight left-hander, but thought better of it, and just thought we'd see how we get on. So with this race, it's 17 laps around the short version of Mid-Ohio, which is around a 1 minute 10 lap. So it's quite a short lap in fairness, but we do have a lot of opportunities for overtakes. So we managed to sneak up into 14th, and we've now got a McLaren 720 just in front. And coming into this tight right-hander here, I tried to sneak up the inside of at least 2 of them, including that Lexus. But I managed to bottle it and ended up overtaking one and rubbing paint with the Ferrari, heading down into turn 1. And with him having the inside line, I just thought I'd brake where I normally would brake. Began to turn in, but the Ferrari just didn't seem he could turn with the speed he was going. Went straight on and there was a bit of a collision. After dusting myself off and eventually trying to put the power down, we got a beautiful drive coming out of that tight right-hander, looking for an overtake up the inside of this Lexus. Big lunge, do or die, and we managed to pull it off. Absolute solid overtake to begin the phase of, well, Operation Catch First Place. We skipped to lap 3 into the first corner, scraped the inside pit lane wall there, and we've now got a 3-car pile-up just ahead. We've got an Aston Martin that we're looking to dispatch of down this straight. We've got a Bentley, and it looks to me like it's a Ferrari just ahead of him. Up the inside of the Aston Martin, be careful not to outbrake myself and give him too much of a gap to do a cutback, and we managed to make it stick and held off the position. So the next target now is the Bentley. He was a bit squirrely coming into that corner there, which then slowed both of us down. But all of that is irrelevant. The Bentley goes for a horrific overtake there on the Ferrari, knocks him off the track, held its line very well there on the outside, and now we are neck and neck coming into this left-hander. And I'm thinking I've got the pace, so I'm just going to try and sneak around the outside of him, get the rotation of the back end to follow me through, and it managed to work very well. Into this tight right-hander, now we're going to flick it left. Be careful of that inside curve, it is steeper than it looks. And we cross the line. Now we're just going to keep setting lap time after lap time after lap time. So we set a 110.2. We're a bit slower there, a 110.4. We then set a 110.1. We then set a 110 dead. And then we set a 109.8. That's just consistency of getting quicker, sinking your teeth into the race and really putting in them times. That's what's going to get you quicker, more consistent lap times, and will help you win races, I promise you. Focus on consistency and you will see results. Back to the race, we have a Mercedes there with a bit of tyre wear issue, and I managed to sneak up the inside but made an absolutely silly mistake, which then let Big Wedgie back through. However, the tyres and the car are feeling still quite good in fairness, so I do feel like I'm going to do maybe another 1 or 2 laps to see if I can carry on pushing for the lead. First manages to pop into the pits, Big Wedgie pops in as well, and it seems to be that pretty much everyone pops in the pits, bar me. But this just gives me a really good, solid opportunity now to try and put some laps in. But I did feel the tyres started to wear off, so then I went into the pits and made another mistake. You know, it just happens to us all, doesn't it? Let's be honest. However, I have now learned for next time not to do that. So we rejoin in 5th place, just behind Big Wedgie yet again, but we've managed to brave the options of running softs. So we cut a lap, pretty much a lap ahead nearly, and we are right on the tail of Big Wedgie. I don't know what tyres he's got. If he's got mediums, he's very quick on mediums, because like I say, it took me a lap to pretty much get as close as I can to him for an overtake. So And where we are in the race, we're 3/4 of the way through nearly, and I can see James, he's in first. We've got an Aston Martin there scraping the grass, causing a bit of oversteer, which allows me to sneak up the inside and grab a podium. Now is where the consistency starts to pay off. I need to not make stupid mistakes, because otherwise I'm just going to throw this away. So we cut ahead a few laps now, lap 14 of 17. We've got an Acura just in front, and I think first place is in another Acura as well. I need to try and dispatch of these pair without making too many mistakes. Now we managed to sneak a good drive there, but the power and the acceleration of that Acura, it almost left me for dead. Was going to attempt to do or die, but the guy in, Sloppy Lizard was just a bit late on the brakes, but he held his line perfectly into this tight left-hander, and he's took a really good defensive line for this right-hander too. However, all of this is slowing me down, and James is sneaking away with it. So I need to dispatch of this boy as quickly as possible. He's super late on the brakes. He's really driving the wheels off that Acura. So we need to try and figure out a place where I can overtake. As you saw there, I just had a quick look at my tyres just to see how much wear I had consumed over them past couple of laps. Again, I was really trying to get it snuck up into that inside line. I just couldn't make it stick. And all of this it's just knackering me up. I've got 2 more laps now to try and dispatch of Sloppy Lizard and James, both in the Acuras. Very strong cars in the GT series, but the Mercedes-AMG is not far behind. So we try to get the power down early here, but the back end decides it's having none of it. Bit of oversteer and just a little change of views, because that's what you do on the straights. Again, Sloppy Lizard very late on the brakes there. Very, very good driving from this boy here. And he's quite loose, but he's quite an aggressive driver by the looks of it. Throws the car in, and the car is working with him. So I'm trying to find a gap. I'm trying to keep as close as I can. As you can see here, I'm touch tight, thinking about just a do or die lunge here, but he shut the door, and fair enough to him. I was too far back, but when you're in a car that's slightly slower and slightly less top end, it is hard to create a pass because you can't get side by side with them. You have to get a monumental drive coming out of the corner. Either way, we do catch him back up very quickly, and James is 2 seconds ahead. Again, not ideal, but we do get a good solid drive coming out of that final corner, and he was in a position where I could not make an overtake. Bit of a sideways step there from him, but where he was spinning was directly in my line. We got a great drive out of that corner there, and I am close enough now. Just pulled out of the slipstream here just to let him know that I am going for this overtake. We were both super late on the brakes. I managed to make it stick, and now I can sink my teeth into James and try and get that first position. Couple of mistakes of going in the pits and that catastrophic error at this corner that's just coming up now. I think I've been fairly decent. We've got minor tyre wear. I think we've got enough tyre wear to last the race, but I've got 1 second to gain on him. I do think I've got the pace, and I do think that I can at least get touch tight to him before the end of the race. So we've managed to shave the time down significantly now to half a second, well, just over half a second, and we're on him. We are on him. Now I am planning on my move. Where am I going to make this move? It needs to be a solid move, but I don't want to jeopardize both of our races. And with that in mind, there are some corners on pretty much most tracks where there are safety nets, where you know that if you overtake, there is the opportunity that you can both rejoin the track easily, or it won't mess up races too drastically. Half a second to me and James, and I'm driving the wheels off this Merc. I'm really pushing now. I'm clipping every apex perfectly. I'm really, really trying to close that gap so I can try and scare James into making a mistake on this last lap. But I do think my tyres are just too far gone. We've got the moderate warning there, and as soon as you get the warning, you literally just lose 20% of your tyres grip. I think that's a fact, and no one can change my mind. As soon as I see that moderate tyre wear, that's it, I'm gone. But we are close. We're very close on James now. And I tried to see if I could lunge around the outside into this tight corner. Not having it. Not having it. Solid defending from James, and unfortunately we weren't able to grab him on the straight either, so he got the win. And what a great race that was. We managed to pick up a podium, and hopefully next time it will be the win. But as always, take care of yourselves, guys. Stay tuned for more.